So let's go ahead and create a smart portfolio, and I'll show you how the process and the setup works. You'll have to click Create Smart Portfolio. As you can see, we are still working in beta. We do have a lot of users and results already, but we're kind of polishing some minor stuff on it. This is why we are still rolling out in beta. This is a splash screen that you will see, and it will explain how the process works. So everything boils down to three major steps or stages, right? The first one is discovery stage, when Sellerboard discovers the keywords. It harvests keywords in automation campaigns, in auto campaign, pardon. And also you can see your own keywords. For instance, if you have a product and you know which keywords should work for the product, and you can seed those keywords to the smart portfolio, and it will create a dedicated manual campaign with those keywords inside, and you will try to make those keywords convert, right? So once Sellerboard will register keywords that convert, then it will transfer them to the optimization stage. So stage number 2, right? And then it will try to optimize their bids to reach your target. And once the target is reached, as I mentioned previously, then the last third stage is the scaling phase, when we will allocate the most of the budget to the keywords that are performing the best. All right, let's go ahead and set up a smart portfolio. The process is pretty much straightforward. Again, you have only this screen, right? This is everything you need to set up a smart portfolio. So let's give it a name. Let's say SP1, like Smart Portfolio 1. You will choose the marketplace where you want to set the smart portfolio in, and then you will select the products from your catalog that you want to include in the smart portfolio. So basically the products that you want to advertise.
Sorry for cutting you. Quick question. Marketplace, we only have those that appeared, or in the demo account, that's the only ones that appeared? So maybe there are more.
Yeah, good question. Good question. So the automation in Smart Portfolio works for all of your marketplaces. We are only currently seeing the marketplaces that are connected to the demo account. So the ones in that region. So if you're working in European marketplaces or whatever, then you will see your marketplaces where you exactly are operating.
Nice.
Good question. Good. Thanks for pointing that out. So yeah, I was at selecting the products, so I can select one or several products that I want to include in the smart portfolio and advertise them. Our general advice here is to select the products. If you want to add several products, select the products from the same kind of logical group, because Sellerboard will be harvesting keywords, and these products need to have similar, semantic range. Those keywords need to be close. They shouldn't be like two products from totally different worlds. So include the products. Next step, decide on a daily portfolio budget. So this is in total how much potentially the smart portfolio can spend for everything, for harvesting keywords, so on the discovery phase, and then on the optimizing phase, and then lastly in the scale phase. So together, combined. So let's say we have a $25 daily portfolio budget, right? What I can also do, I can also take an existing campaign and include it into the smart portfolio. If I have one and I want to optimize it, right, to have its bids optimized, I can include it here. Let's just skip it and create new campaigns for harvesting the keywords. For that, I'll need to create a dedicated auto campaign for discovery. So I'll make sure this checkbox is checked, right? That's one. And as I mentioned previously, if I have keywords on my own that I know that they should work, then I have the option to introduce them over here. Let's say keyword 1, and then keyword 2, and so on, right? And immediately I can select what bid I want to place. Since this is a manual campaign, I'm setting initially the bid myself, right? Afterwards, if the keyword will convert, then the bidding will start getting optimized. But from the beginning, I can set my own bid for every keyword I'm inputting. So if I go with this scenario, if I create a dedicated auto campaign and also seed some of my own keywords, then when I create the smart portfolio in the beginning, in the discovery phase, I'll have two campaigns. One will be auto campaign, right, which will harvest the keywords And then the second one will be a manual campaign that will have my own keywords inside. And both of them will try to make those keywords convert, right? Then settings for stage number 2, optimization. So the settings are pretty straightforward again. You need to select a range. If you're going for a certain ACoS range, then you define it here, or you can switch to a certain profit margin range, right? So let's say I want to have an ACoS of something between maybe, I don't know, 20 and 30%, right? So in that case, my math will add up to the necessary numbers at the end of the day. So my bottom line will be as expected. So let's say I want to have this ACoS. I'm setting up the range. And at this stage, I'm pretty much ready. So the scaling part, so this is the budget allocation side of things. And it's already on by default. You cannot turn it off because at each stage, so we're harvesting keywords, we're optimizing them, and then we're just scaling. The budget allocation works at all times, right? So there's no need to input any additional stuff from your side. What you can do, you can turn on advanced settings, which will add a few more fields here and there. Basically, you'll be able to say, okay, for discovery, I can decide what's the grace period, meaning how much time will the smart portfolio give a certain keyword to convert, right? Before it eliminates that keyword. Because the keywords that do not convert, they are added to negative. So the system will not spend money on them, right? So currently with the settings that you see, we have 7 days, and the system will let every new keyword try to convert for 7 days. If it doesn't, it's moved to negative, right? You can move the grace period to whatever you want. You can give it more time or less time, but just if you give it more time, be prepared that you will have additional spending, right? But if you give it less time than 7 days, then at some point, maybe it will be not enough for the keyword to convert. So you need to find that sweet spot. And then you can decide what is the percentage of your total daily budget you want to allocate on research. Because from the total $25 that we currently have in here, with the current settings, 30% of these $25 will go to the research phase, meaning the automation campaign that will harvest keywords, and then my own manual campaign with these 2 keywords will receive 30% of this sum to try and make the keywords convert and discover the ones that will, right? So I'm allocating on research 30%, and the rest will go for the campaigns that are having those their bids optimized, and the ones that are already in the target range with the ACoS or the profit margin. In my case, they are in their target range with the ACoS between 20 and 30%, right? So the rest, the 70% of the budget will go there. And then also, but not more than $25. That means that if I have a larger budget, or maybe even for this budget, I can say, but not more than, let's say, $5. That means that I have 2 settings to define exactly, how much I want to allocate for research. Okay. So
Alex, before we continue, please, just based on what you mentioned in the optimization part, in the ACoS or with the profit margin we choose, I had a little question there. Could you scroll down a little bit so we see it,
sure,
please? So we have like ACoS 20, 30%. This means for what range? Like once we get to, like it's trying to get into this range generally all the time, and then kind of once it gets there, then, well, it just got in there. It's just going to try to get into that range finally at some point, hopefully faster, correct? Something like this? Or
sure.
And then a follow-up question, like profit margin would be profit margin of that PPC sale kind of thing, or kind of in
Good question. So let's take them one by one. First of all, what's up with the range, right? So the keyword, each keyword has its own profitability calculated. So we know the sales generated by the keyword. We know the product that was sold, right? And for that product, we know the cost of goods. We know, the return rates on average. We know the other expenses, the Amazon fees that are there, right? So based on that, we know the advertising cost. I mean, we know how much that keyword spent to get that sale, right? So this is how we calculate the margin for the keyword, right? So every keyword has its own margin. And vice versa, we can go with the ACoS, right? So when I'm saying that, okay, I want to optimize the profit margin or the ACoS of a specific keyword, right? Then Sellerboard will analyze every keyword separately. And when optimizing, so it will analyze, okay, the current margin or the current ACoS of the keyword. And for instance, if it's at 40%, so with the sale that it generated, and then the advertising cost that was spent for generating that sale, and every other factor that I mentioned previously, the ACoS for that keyword currently it's at 40%. So the system will know, okay, but my target range, it's somewhere in between 20 and 30%. That means that I need to decrease the bid. I need to spend less on this keyword. So the advertising cost of sale will go down and hopefully we'll get in that target range. So this is what the system will do. It'll try to tweak up the bids. So the metric, be it the ACoS or the profit margin for the keyword, will get in the range. And why is it a range? Because it's constantly changing. It's not, a metric that it's fixed. It reached a specific point and it stays there. No, it's constantly moving, right? So it might be fluctuating. Today be 21% and tomorrow 25%, and then the day after 23%, and then several days after that, maybe it will jump all the way up to 45% and step out of the target range. When it will step out of the target range, so then Sellerboard will detect that thing and say, oh, okay, this keyword is out of the target range. We need to get it back into the optimization stage and start tweaking the bids again, right? Because while it is in the target range, the only thing that's happening, the system will not change the bids. At that point, the bids remain the same, as long as the keyword is in the target range, right? So the only thing that will happen, the system will allocate more budget because it's in the target range, it's selling. We are happy. We need to give it more money to spend, so we get the best results. If it steps out of the range, then something's not right. We need to get it back in the optimization phase, change the bits, tweak the bits a little bit until we get in that sweet spot range, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you, man.
Sure. Thanks for the question. So, and the thing that with the advanced settings, you can also do a couple of things. You can fine tune a bid optimization strategy, which is basically you telling the system how fast and aggressive to change the bids, right? So we have several templates here, and the settings just boil down to how many clicks are analyzed before making a bid change decision. And then once Sellerboard understands, okay, it analyzes 10 clicks in this case, and says, okay, I now know how to change the bid because I analyzed 10 clicks. I saw how many sales were made after 10 clicks. I know basically how to change it now to get this keyword to the target range. Then the bid change is divided into several steps. So the system doesn't change the bid from A to Z, right? It needs to break it into several steps to make it a little bit more smooth because the algorithm from Amazon with the PPC bid changes, sometimes if you have a very abrupt or sudden change, then the result might be a little bit unpredictable. This is why we give the user the option to smooth it out a little bit. If you want to play it more safe, you can give it a little bit more steps. If you want to try and be more aggressive, then you can just divide it into 2 or 3 steps. It all depends on the market, on the product, on the niche, the competitor activity. So it's a thing of testing it out, right? You can define the bid optimization strategy, and then that's it. You just continue with creating you'll have a little review of all your settings, right, before you launch it. And then you hit save and you launch the smart portfolio. The next thing I want to show you is once it's live, you can go to the PPC dashboard over here. Let's jump back to that page. And you can access the smart portfolios tab over here. So if you have several smart portfolios set up, you'll see a list. You'll see all of them in here. Let's give it a second to load. So we only currently have one. And if I'll expand the smart portfolio, then I'll see the phases, right? I'll see my campaigns in scale phase, discovery and optimization. Not sure why they're arranged in this way. Discovery should go first and then optimization second and scale third, but whatever. So I can expand that and see the campaigns that are inside every phase. So we have currently with this setup, 2 campaigns in the discovery phase. Both of them are auto campaigns, which are generating new keywords using Amazon's own algorithm of auto campaigns and keyword harvesting, right? So I can see their performance right here. I can analyze their ACoS, ad spend, how much they spend, how much profit they brought in. I can analyze the break-even ACoS, so the point at which the campaign starts getting profitable. And then I can understand their daily budget. And so other metrics as well are available here on the list. If you need to add them, just click on this icon and add the metrics that you're interested in. So 2 campaigns in discovery. Then I also have 1 campaign currently in optimization. Its bids are being optimized. And what I can also do, I can expand actually this campaign to see the ad groups and to see the keywords inside. So I can analyze each keyword, how exactly it's performing, and I can analyze their metrics separately. This gives you granularity, so you can see overall what's the performance of the smart portfolio and each separate campaign and keywords, how are they doing. Like a general note, the campaigns in the discovery phase are designed to have they're experimental. They're trying to make keywords convert. So you should not expect the discovery phase campaigns to perform really well, right? Because the system is trying to make them convert. Some will fail, some will succeed, and those that will succeed will get transferred to optimization. What you need to be on the lookout for are the real, results in profitability, depending on your settings, obviously, in the scale phase, because that means, those campaigns should bring in the results that you're expecting, since, the system is giving them the most of the budget. And in optimization, pay close attention to how exactly the bid optimization translates into results that you want to see, right? Pretty much on the top level, this is it. Maybe if we have any other questions.
Yeah, if we want to do edits to the daily budget, I think we can do it from here, because I saw the little window up here where we can basically, how can we edit this stuff? Like, how can we, let's say we started it, where do we go to edit things, and what can we add? We can add the daily budget, the ACoS, I believe, real time. Can we do that? Like target ACoS, target profit, or not really?
You can edit the campaign not the campaign, you can edit the smart portfolio if you will go to actions and edit. This is where you can edit some of the stuff. So you can edit the daily portfolio budget. You can edit these settings right here and edit the target range. So these are pretty much the things that you can edit once the campaign is live. You cannot change the marketplace and you cannot change the product, right? Because you already decided on what exactly you want to advertise and so on. But these settings right here, so the daily budget and the target, and obviously the optimization strategy for bids, you can change. So yeah, again, just on a smart portfolio level, go all the way to the right to actions and click on edit. That's the way to do it.
Maybe I'll kind of bounce back at you. The question, have you gotten questions from like new users that have tried it, or the team, or the support box, something connected to that I have missed maybe?
Sure. So the general kind of sentiment about it, let's say, since we are still in beta, but the general sentiment is people not really understanding what to expect. So this is not like a specific question, but this is, a thing of trust, because you're kind of saying, okay, when I'm going daily to tweak my bids for every separate campaign, I know exactly what I'm doing, right? So I control the process. And this is an approach. And if you do have the time, maybe that is the best approach. I don't know, for some sellers that are specialized, in PPC, they have, very good understanding of what exactly they're doing. And they have, most importantly, the time and the resources and the knowledge to do that. You can also, by the way, do it in Sellerboard as well. You have a search terms page here. You can analyze every keyword separately. You can edit your bids manually directly from here if you're in campaigns and you're, accessing individual keywords. But the smart portfolios feature was designed for sellers that don't really have either the knowledge, either the time, either, the desire to actually spend a lot of time on analyzing the keywords and their performance and the bids and jumping into editing everything on the daily. So they can't make it a full-time job, especially if you have a lot of products and campaigns. So this is the solution for those who want to try out an automated approach, which is pretty much fully automated, right? So coming back to your question, not is that we are receiving a lot of technical questions, because the process is pretty simple. But when I talk to users that already implemented the tool in their process, the general sentiment is how long will it take for the keywords to convert? How many products should I add and see, if the results will come in for all of the products advertised in the smart portfolio. And, it's like a new shiny thing that just came out, and people just are trying to learn what to expect and how to use it. So obviously it takes a little bit of, time for the system to adapt, to learn, and to optimize and show you the results. But if you give it some time and a little bit of trust, then you'll see the results that will come in. We already saw it with the user base from the beta audience that we have. The system is up and running. I think it's been more than 2 months already. So yeah, we already see the results that it's bringing in. So again, just to sum up, if you want to try an automated approach to PPC advertising, give it a shot. So and kind of my personal advice on it, start small. So select a product that you want to try it on, dedicate a small portion of your advertising budget to a smart portfolio, and just let it run and see how it will perform. And then once you gain that trust and credibility for the feature, then you can add additional products and create new smart portfolios. So as with the other features as well, especially that this is your advertising budget, it is your money. Start small and then scale once you see results.
Quick question before we wrap up, Alex. Smart portfolio, let's say we started one. Can it be in conflict with our current PPC campaign? So what do you think with maybe current campaign we're running and we're trying to launch a smart portfolio? Maybe you have the same keywords, or what do you think? There might be some clashes like this?
This is a good question. So if you already have campaigns that are advertising the same product, then think of it. The best approach would be to include those existing campaigns into the smart portfolios, because you already have the keywords in there. You already have the bidding in there. So the system will use that kind of gained knowledge inside the campaign and try to use it inside the smart portfolio. So again, I wouldn't recommend to run both things at once, because you will be, first of all, competing. They will be competing one with another. That's one. And then you don't want to be mixing up the keywords as well. So I would suggest, if you want to have your current campaign still running, then include it in the smart portfolio.
Pretty cool, man. And again, quick question before we wrap up. What would be the price for this? This is included in the most simple plan of Sellerboard, or it's more of the advanced ones, or what do you recall? Maybe we have the pricing page also, of course, of Sellerboard on the website. But do you recall which?
Sure.
Price.
Sure. So as with all other features of Sellerboard, it's included in all of the plans, even the the starter plans, the very first one. It's available in all plans. The only thing I think is that it will become available, if I'm not mistaken, when you will step out of the trial period. That's the only probably. I'm not really sure about it. Maybe you will also have access to it once you are still in trial. But chances are that it will be available once you switch to a paid plan, and it doesn't really matter which one.
Okay, cool. We'll we'll have again a description free trial for 2 months to try out. And then again, people can on the pricing page check the, basically if it's included or not. I believe it should be there. But yeah. Oh yeah, man. Well, I guess that would be a wrap up. We kind of went through it all. If our viewers have any more questions, please drop comments. Again, best offer for Sellerboard is in the description, 2-month free trial. We have the other videos that show you how to use Sellerboard from A to Z for Amazon, for Walmart, or for Shopify. And Alex, man, as usual, thank you for detailed tutorial. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you all for the invitation. Thank you everyone for your interest and patience. Good luck with sales.
Let's go.